In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, there is a place where time has completely stopped. Divers who descend into its waters describe it as stepping into a graveyard frozen in motion. Giant warships rest on the seabed as if still ready for battle. Fighter planes, and even the belongings of the men who once served on them, are all still there. But the eerie part. This place holds more wrecks than anywhere else on Earth, and yet it's not just the ships that were left behind. What happened here was so sudden, so devastating, that entire fleets vanished almost overnight. And to this day, the waters are whispered about as haunted. Alright, so imagine you're a scuba diver, right? You're floating down through crystal clear tropical water, maybe expecting to see some coral reefs, colorful fish, the usual paradise stuff. But instead, what you find is, well, it's like stumbling into a city that just got frozen in time. We're talking about Truk Lagoon, now called Truk Lagoon, in Micronesia. And listen to this, there are over 60 major shipwrecks down there. 60. That's more than some entire countries have lost in their entire naval history. But here's the thing that gets me. These aren't just empty hulks scattered around the ocean floor. Divers report finding intact aircraft still sitting in the cargo holds of ships. Motorcycles, perfectly preserved, sake bottles, still corked, gas masks hanging exactly where someone left them. One diver told me he found a submarine with its periscope still extended, like the crew was still watching for enemy ships. Hey, that's wild, right? Now here's the thing, back in World War II, this place was supposed to be untouchable. The Japanese called it their Gibraltar of the Pacific. Honestly, you can see why they thought that. Picture this, you've got this massive lagoon, about 40 miles across, surrounded by coral reefs that act like natural fortress walls. The Japanese had turned this place into their most important naval base in the Central Pacific. We're talking hundreds of ships, thousands of aircraft, fuel depots, ammunition dumps, the works. But, you know what's crazy? The guys stationed there, they actually thought they were in the safest place in the Pacific. Some of them had been there for months, just living their normal military lives. Playing cards, writing letters home, maintaining their ships. They had no idea that in just a matter of days, their entire world was about to disappear beneath the waves. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's February 17th, 1944. Dawn is breaking over Truk Lagoon, and it's just another quiet morning. Japanese sailors are probably having their breakfast. Mechanics are working on planes. Just routine stuff. Then, out of nowhere, the horizon fills with American aircraft. We're talking about Operation Hailstone, and it was massive. Over 500 American planes from 9 aircraft carriers, all converging on this one lagoon. The Japanese had maybe 300 planes to defend with, and most of those were caught on the ground. Now here's what makes this whole thing so devastating. The attack lasted 2 full days, but the real destruction had happened in the first few hours. American dive bombers and torpedo planes just tore through the anchored fleet like it was target practice. Ships that had survived battles across the Pacific gone in minutes. The numbers are just staggering when you think about it. 48 hours, the Americans sank over 60 ships and destroyed more than 400 aircraft. But that's just statistics, right? Human side of this is what really gets to you. Picture being a sailor on one of those ships. You're probably below deck when the first bombs hit. The lights go out, the ship starts listing, water's pouring in. Some guys made it to the lifeboats, others didn't. A lot of others didn't. One of the most haunting wrecks down there is the Fujikawa Maru, a passenger cargo ship. Divers today can still see the ship's telegraph, frozen at full astern, the captain's last desperate order to escape. In the engine room, they found the remains of crew members who were trying to keep the ship running until the very end. That's the kind of dedication, or maybe just terror, that keeps you at your post even when death is rushing in. So what's it like diving there now? Well, the stories divers tell, they'll give you chills. The water is incredibly clear, so you can see these massive ships just sitting there perfectly preserved, like they're waiting for their crews to come back. But it's the personal items that really get to people. Divers have found sake bottles with the cork still in them, officers' shoes lined up neatly in cabins, even toiletries still sitting on shelves. One guy found a Zero fighter plane with the pilot's headset still hanging in the cockpit. And here's something that'll stick with you. Because the water is so warm and there's limited oxygen at those depths, a lot of the organic material has been preserved. Yeah, we're talking about human remains. Divers regularly encounter the skeletal remains of sailors who went down with their ships. It's not just a wreck dive, it's literally swimming through a mass grave. Now, you might think that sounds disturbing, and honestly, it kind of is. But here's what's interesting. The Truk Lagoon has become something incredible. It's now protected as a historical preserve, and many consider it the world's greatest wreck diving site. The Japanese government has declared it an underwater monument. Divers from around the world come here, not as tourists, but as pilgrims of sorts. They're paying their respects to the thousands of men who died here. Some divers leave offerings on the wrecks, flowers that slowly dissolve in the salt water. The ecosystem down there, it's adapted to. Coral has grown over the ships. Tropical fish have made homes in the gun turrets. Nature is slowly reclaiming these instruments of war, turning them into artificial reefs. It's beautiful and haunting at the same time. So here we are, 80 years later, and Truk Lagoon still holds its secrets. Sure, we know what happened. We know about Operation Hailstone. We can count the wrecks. But diving down there, seeing those perfectly preserved moments of panic and desperation, it makes you wonder. Some divers swear the place is haunted. They talk about strange sounds, shadows moving between the wrecks, equipment malfunctioning for no reason. That's just the mind playing tricks in such a heavy place. Or maybe in a location where so many lives ended so suddenly. Where entire ships full of men just vanished beneath the waves in a matter of minutes. Maybe some echoes of that tragedy still linger. The question that really gets me is this. In a place where thousands died so suddenly, where their world literally sank with them, are these wrecks just history or something more? The ghost fleet of Truk Lagoon isn't just a collection of sunken ships. It's a time capsule, a memorial, and maybe, just maybe, something that defies our understanding of what happens when tragedy strikes so completely and so suddenly. Every year, more divers make the pilgrimage to these waters. They descend into that blue silence, swimming past the ghosts of a war that ended generations ago. And when they surface, most of them are changed by what they've seen down there. If this story fascinated you as much as it did me, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible historical mysteries from around the world. Drop a comment and let me know. Would you have the courage to dive into the ghost fleet? Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that lie hidden beneath the surface, waiting for someone brave enough to discover them.